Well, good morning. Welcome to Agape. Agape means unconditional love in Greek, or the love of God operating through the human heart, as Martin Luther King said. Or as I would tell you, the awareness and acceptance of your wholeness. So today, I thought I'd really explore love. And so I'm going to talk about how to fall in love. But before we do, let's just take a few moments and get ourselves centered so we're better able to hear and to receive possible new ideas that can change our lives. So if you would, bring yourself to a comfortable seated upright position. Your back is straight, hands gently resting on your lap, eyes closed. Bring all awareness to your breath. Taking a long, slow, deep breath in. And now let it all go and feel your body begin to relax. Again, a long, slow, deep breath in. And as you release it, feel all the tension draining out of your body. Again, one more long, slow, deep breath in. And as you let go of all thoughts, all sensations, and just be fully present now. Take a moment to notice that if you're fully present in the now, there is no judgment. Because if you're fully in the now, you're not bringing forward anything from the past to judge against. And if you're living in the now, you are living in love. The state of love is the state of non-judgment. So get into that sensation, whatever it is for you, that sensation of non-judgment, that sensation of acceptance of all that is, no matter what it is. You've got to accept it all. Doesn't matter whether you like it or not. You can't change what has happened. So by accepting it, you're saying to life, I love life. Because you're not fighting against it. Because one thing we do know, that life continues, and life builds contrast, and contrast spurs growth. Growth is literally becoming more aware of your infinite nature, and the only way we can do that is through a sense of non-judgment and non-attachment. And so in this receptive state, in this state of openness and non-judgment, I want you to come back into your body, to this time, to this place, to this day. Begin to move your fingers, maybe your toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes, coming fully back and fully present now to receive and hear anew. So today, I'm going to talk about how to fall in love. Not the type of love you may be thinking about. How do I fall in love with this person or that person? No. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. There is no one on the planet that knows you the way you know you. There's no one on the planet that has ever been alive, ever will be alive, that will have the experiences, the thoughts, the emotions, the feelings, in the sequences and the events that you will have. That makes you unique. And the key thing, once you understand that, then you realize that every relationship we have is simply a reflection on what we already believe about ourselves. That's right, because what we believe about ourselves is the lens through which we look at life. So we look at life through a lens that we've created on other people, and we only see them through that lens, which means we see only a small, small fraction of another person. But get a load of this. If you were to accept everything about yourself, mean love everything about yourself, you could then take that and love someone else the same way, which means you'll have a much deeper, much broader, much more intimate relationship with others. So the core idea behind falling in love is to fall in love is not arrogance. It's not ego. It's awakening to the truth of who you are right here, right now. That means you become aware that you were created out of the infinite, by the infinite, unique, whole, and perfect, so the infinite could experience itself as you, and you are a part of it. You are a wave on the ocean. You feel you're separate when you're on the tip of the wave, but below the surface, where the wave is part of the ocean, you're one with it. And that's what we're awakening to. That is the divine truth, that you are enough because you are the ocean. When are you the ocean? Right here, right now, even though you may think you're just a separate wave. Zen says that when you realize nothing is lacking, the whole world belongs to you. Because if you understand that nothing is lacking, you're not going to be seeking something to fill what you perceive as the God-sized hole. Religious science teaches that you are an individualization, an expression of infinite spirit, that the divine created you out of itself, and that its mind and your mind are the same mind. It's just a matter of you becoming aware. Me, Reverend Lee, I say love is the awareness and acceptance of our wholeness. And think about this. If you're aware and you accept your whole, are you going to be self-judging? No. Because remember, this is the simplest way to know what love is. It's the opposite of judgment. If you're judging something, you're not in love. You're in judgment. They're complete, extremely the opposite. So why is it that we struggle with self-love? From childhood, I know for me at least, and everyone that I seem to witness, most of us are taught conditions. Conditional love, which is not love because there's judgment. The number one was, I remember this so clearly as a boy, I love you when you behave. If you behave, you'll have mom and dad's love again. Did you ever have that? And have you been seeking to do that in every relationship since? Another one is, you're valuable if you succeed. In other words, you're not worthy of love unless you succeed in the way whoever's looking at you wants you to succeed. And maybe success to them is different than success to you. And maybe success in a specific area is not even relevant to you because it's not of interest to you. We struggle because we feel that we're lovable if you meet someone else's expectations. This happens all the time in relationships. I see this over and over and over again. Well, you don't love me because if you did, you would do this. That's not love. That's a bunch of malarkey. That's your ego wanting to be pleased by everyone you meet. And so you think love is about finding someone who's a people pleaser. And then maybe if they people please you enough, you'll give them something back to please them. By far, that's not love. Not at all. And we absorb these conditions. We absorb, I love you if you behave. You're valuable if you succeed. You're lovable if you meet my expectations. We absorb these conditions as if they're truth, when they're illusions created out of the ego. And it seems that it's the collective ego, the ego of humanity. And we buy into that instead of stepping bold. We're told a bunch of lies. The first lie we've been told is you're not enough. To tell that lie, to say to someone you're not enough, what is that person doing? They're judging you to meet their expectations instead of you living your unique gifts. Here's another lie. You have to earn it. You have to earn my love. What the bleep? You have to earn my love? I don't go and earn anyone's love. I love Lee, which means I accept Lee, and I do my darndest to accept everyone I'm with, even if I don't like them. And if I don't like them, I'm at choice to spend time with them or not. I realize I'm human. I may be a spiritual teacher, but I'm also a human being going through the same journey of becoming more aware of my divine nature all the time. And sometimes I don't like people. They don't resonate with me. And that's okay. I can accept them who they are. One of the things that happened yesterday was a gentleman, a young man, Charlie Kirk, was brutally assassinated. Probably because of his beliefs. He's deeply conservative, deeply evangelical religious. When I heard that he had died from being shot, my heart sank. Not because I believed what he believed. I didn't. There were a few ideas I agreed on, but a majority of what Charlie said, I did not agree with. But we live in a country where that's our right to speak those ideas. And I could say that I loved him because I accepted him the way he was. Didn't mean I liked him. I accepted him. And no one needs to die for those type of beliefs. That's a lie. We're all valuable in our unique way. Because think about this. Having listened to several of Charlie's things, what did I get from that? I got clarity on who I am. He didn't challenge me, or he didn't convince me. He challenged me to be more me. And I am, and I would love to have sat down and debated him, because I would have done it in a different way than most of the people I saw. You don't have to earn love. You just have to be it. Here's the next one. Here's another great lie we're told. You need to fix yourself first. What do you need to fix? I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to remember who you are. Remember your truth. And there you'll find the divine. But as a human expression, you don't need to fix anything. You're unique. It's time to embrace that uniqueness. You see, Zen cuts through these lies. Zen says, the self is already whole. The mind just obscures it. It's the same truth in religious science. Religious science says we're individualizations of the one, and as such we're whole. But our ego doesn't believe we are. So what does falling in love with yourself look like? It's not about indulgence. It's not about puffing yourself up, getting that chest out there and saying, I love myself. No. It looks like treating yourself with kindness instead of criticism. Realize that life is a journey that is constantly unfolding. And as it unfolds, you have the opportunity to become more aware. You don't need to judge where you are. You are where you are. Why? Who cares? You're where you are. That's your starting point. Right now is your starting point. Can you be kind? Can you begin speaking to yourself the way you would to a dear friend? A dear friend doesn't criticize. A dear friend supports. A dear friend listens. Have you really sat back and really listened to yourself talk? Then ask, would I talk to my best friend like that? Probably not. We're our own worst critic. Here's a big one. Accept your humanness without judgment. That's right. Your humanness is a gift. I love being human. I love having sensations. I love contrast because I can feel. If I didn't have the contrast, I couldn't feel, I couldn't have desires. I have desires, I'm not attached to them though. That's the Zen aspect of it. I experience everything, realizing I'm human. And I try to do it without judgment. And finally, falling in love means standing boldly in your worth, not apologizing for existing, not apologizing for not fitting in, not apologizing for doing what everyone else wants you to do, but really understanding that you have unique gifts, a unique way of being, and just being that is enough. You're not here to please anyone. You're not here to please God. That's one of the biggest lies ever, that you're here to please God. God doesn't need you to please it because you're part of it. God is all loving. God accepts everything as it is. It's part of the divine creation. You see, Zen teaches the obstacle is the path. The people who irritate you, they're mirrors. The situations that frustrate you, they're mirrors. Your environment, it's a mirror. It all reflects how you see yourself. If you're confused, people who are confused are going to irritate you. Situations that are confusing are going to frustrate you. Your environment is going to be extremely chaotic. But when you become calm and you know who you are, you love who you are, you like who you are, you're going to see people differently, situations differently, your environment differently. If you're harsh within, if you're self-judging and you're tough on yourself, the world feels harsh. The world feels judging. The world feels difficult. I know Gene and I were just on a cruise, and people ask me why you go on a cruise, because most of the people on the cruise I would never really talk to. Most people on the cruise are about overeating and over drinking, just not very aware. But what I get to do on a cruise is I get to go into my bubble. I create a bubble that surrounds me and Gene, and we have the best of time. We meditate every morning. We do our Wim Hof breathing. I hypnotize my wife every day for what she wanted to be hypnotized for. She did reading, I did some creativity, go to the gym, eat food that we get to choose, get served to us, treat our waiters as part of our family, go to wonderful shows, spend time being intimate with one another. So for me, I get to be in a bubble, a spiritual cocoon. I believe that's the key to living life today, because there's a lot of distractions and you're not going to be able to change them. Think about this. If you are gentle within, the world will feel gentle for you. So to love yourself is to change the entire lens through which you see life. It's not about changing things, it's changing the lens through which you see life. So what are some practical ways that you can begin to fall in love with yourself? First, silence that inner critic. Every time the mind says, I'm not enough, pause and ask, who is it that is aware of that thought? When you ask that question, you realize that awareness that is aware of that thought is untouched. That awareness that doesn't judge is life itself. It's love itself, the essence of life. Again, to fall in love with yourself, you got to practice radical self-acceptance. Stop fighting what is. You're not a problem to solve. You're an expression of life to be embraced. I do a lot of stupid things. I'm just like you, but I embrace them and I learn from them. Also, celebrate the small. Gratitude is self-love in action. every day. Name 3 things daily that you appreciate about yourself. Appreciate about your partner. Appreciate about your kids. Appreciate about your family. Appreciate about your job. Whatever it is, find things to celebrate, even if they're small. And the final way to fall into love with yourself is to live authentically. Self-love is saying, I will no longer trade my truth for someone else's approval. In other words, give up being a people pleaser. I'm not here to please my wife, but I'll tell you something. Jean's been struggling with a pain in her back, and normally we have a housekeeper come once every 2 weeks, and got the message on Wednesday. After dinner, Wednesday night, Jean went into her room to read, just to put the infrared light on her back. I went into the kitchen, got out our brand new steam cleaner that's got the spinning things on the bottom. Clean the kitchen floors. Didn't tell her, just did it. The next day, came home from all my errands. Jean was in her room doing some reading. I then took care of the rest of the house. I spent a total of 2 hours. Now, I'm not the greatest housekeeper, but I did enough that's what was necessary. That was me being authentic in partnership. I didn't ask for any approval. I just did it. Because my self-approval is all I ever seek. So here's a bold challenge. What if you woke up tomorrow and said, I'm in love with myself? Not because of your accomplishments, not because of your looks, not because of your status, but simply because you are. Could you look in the mirror, right directly into your eyes, and say, I love you, just like you are right now, today? I invite you to do that. Can you imagine how differently you would walk into a room if you loved yourself? Imagine how freely you would love others without needing anything in return. Imagine how fearless you would become when you no longer abandon yourself. Those are some wonderful ideas that you can use this week when you're silent. Just pick one of them. Imagine if you loved yourself, how differently would you walk into the room? Imagine how freely could you love others without needing anything in return. What would that even be like? Imagine how fearless you would live when you no longer abandon your truth. So in closing, to fall in your love with yourself is the foundation of all spirituality. It's awakening. And because until you love yourself, you will always look outside for what can only be found within you. So today I challenge you. Stop seeking the world's approval. Stop waiting to become enough. Right here, right now, you are whole, you are worthy, you are love itself. The cause is falling in love with yourself. The effect is the whole universe falls in love with you. Think about that. When you love yourself, the world loves you back. What a grand way to live life. I want to thank you for joining me today. If you like this message, you want to hear more things like this, go to agapespiritualcenter.com. Click on the tab that says Daily Thought and Weekly Newsletter Sign Up, and sign up and you'll get my daily thought that I put out each and every morning, and you'll get a weekly newsletter of all the events we offer at Agape. And while you're there, go to the calendar and see if there's a way that you can plug in. From the time that I'm speaking right now, in about a week and a half, I'm starting classes. I would love to have you sign up and join a class. From anywhere in the world, we do it all on Zoom. Classes are where we go deep. And while you're on that page, agapespiritualcenter.com, go to the Giving tab. Make a donation, not because you have to. Make a donation because you felt that you received something. And in receiving something, you felt you wanted to give back because you understand the law of circulation. What you give, you receive, and when you receive, you give. But most of all, I want to thank you for your time, for listening to this message, and hopefully, my wish is that something triggers you to find a way to more accept yourself and love yourself today more than ever. And with that, much love